Hello everyone, Mouse Rat here, back with a new album review. And today I am reviewing the new album by indie rock and folk rock band Big Thief. This one is called Dragon New Over Mountain, I Believe in You. Jesus, talk about a mouthful of a title. And Big Thief has been one of the better and more promising groups of the 2010s. Their debut in 2016 was called Masterpiece, and their subsequent record, Capacity, were both very, very promising and showed a good path for Big Thief, though they weren't my favorites by any means. However, they really hit their stride in 2019 with their record UFOF, which was, in my opinion, their best record up until that point, as well as Two Hands from the same year, which was also great. And then you have some side projects like Adrienne Lenkers, which is the vocalist and writer, whose 2020 folk album, which was called Songs, is one of my most played albums of 2020. Super beautiful and genuinely a great album. But I really just want to get into this review of Dragon New Over Mountain, I Believe in You. Change is the opening track and single, and it starts off the record in a pretty good way. I really just enjoy how sweet this sounds. The lyrics are very insightful. It's pretty picturesque. Pretty much this whole record is, even though I'm not, the biggest fan of it. It's very, very picturesque. Adrienne's light vocals and nice, gluey, and viscid production do a lot for me on this track. It's just a very sobering song, and overall, a very nice opener that grew on me a bit. And then Time Escaping is another single that, right off the bat, sounds very, very odd. But it's odd in, a good way. Nothing really sounds right, but yet nothing really sounds wrong. It picks up the pace very quickly, and it breezes by almost tumultuously, but I really like it. And then Spud Infinity is an almost wacky sounding song that bounces around jovially with this little jaw harp, and it's very nice. I just really like the way that these songs are recorded. They sound like a breath of fresh air, productionally and musically. And then Certainty is a super nice song. The instrumentation is very much on point. That bass just sounds super playful and down to earth, which is how I would describe most of this record, really. I just really like how these songs, so far at least, describe what they're talking about, just the way that it's put. It's so wise and optimistic. Adrienne's, writing has really gotten good on this record. And then the title track of this album is the next track, and it's a big change, admittedly, from the last. However, it sounds mythical, almost like it's building words, and the instrumentation is just so hazy and so nice. Just super tasteful stuff. It makes me want to live somewhere else, to be honest, because I live in, a boring suburb, and this just makes me want to live in, a faraway, foresty town near some mountains far away. It's amazing. And Sparrow is a track that I was not at all really crazy about at first, but I'm happy to say that my mind has changed on it. It's a very pretty track with a bittersweet edge on it, that I just really love how it sounds, so raw, and, it's another great song. However, the quality does start to dip down a little bit, with the song Little Things, which was a single, and it's a song that gets tiring pretty quickly. I really like the sound of it at first. It kind of feels, grand in this way, and almost 6 minutes of this, this track can get a little bit disorienting quickly, and it makes for a fairly annoying track. And then Heavy Bend is next, and I really like this track. Despite it being very short, it kind of sounds like a lo-fi track if lo-fi was actual instrumentals and was very naturey sounding. It's just a very nice and pretty track on this one. And then the next track is Flower of Blood, which is decent. I really enjoy the sound of it, and it's kind of like a less tiring version of Little Things, but it can still get a little bit repetitive. Blurred View is quickly transitioned into by the last track, and Blurred View is kind of a weird turn for this record. However, I feel like it's not half bad at all. It really does feel like a blurred view, in a way. It just sounds kind of hazy. It's weirdly intimate and almost stalker-like, but not bad at all, guys. And then Dried Roses is the next track, and it's very nice and warm sounding. It's just very nice. I don't really have that many adjectives to say about it, but it's a very nice song, very warm feeling of a song. Sounds a little bit sad, but I do like this one. And then Promise is a Pendulum is a pretty low-key and delightful track. I really like the lyricism on this one, especially the metaphor mentioned, but it says it in the title, but I mean, it's still good. And it really feels like the most intimate and low-key track on this record, which makes me like it. Since I am kind of a folk... What do you call, like, a folk fan? Like, a fan of, like, folk music? Is it, like, folk bug? It's something like that. It's, like, folk cat. Folk dog. It's some folk animal. And I am kind of a folk animal. And then Simulation Swarm is the last single on this track list, and I really, really enjoy this one. Surprisingly, it has a really tight melody, and just the song is structured pretty nicely, and it's a good single. It's a good single. And next is the song Love, 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 and no, I'm not talking about the song by the Mountain Goats. This one is different. It's kind of all over the place, and just a little bit weird, but it's nice. And, like, the weird part is good on this one. It can drag on, but it's alright. And then Blue Lightning as a closer is decent, but not super special. So, this album, look, I appreciate a lot of what they did here. The instrumentation is better than ever. Adrian's lyricism, like I mentioned, is really, really good. It's getting better and better. But overall, this has a lot, and I mean a lot of filler, which is why I didn't really mention all of the tracks. It can get pretty stale and boring. As a full listening, like, experience, it's fairly consistent most of the time, but it falls apart the longer it goes on, which, as an album, as a cohesive unit, is definitely not a good aspect. I don't really feel like the long track list works for this one that much, but the good thing is that it doesn't really drag on as it falls off. Like, a few of the songs drag on, but as an album, it kind of works. What I'm trying to say is, with a more trim track list, with shorter and more hook-oriented tracks for sure, their next effort could be one for the ages. I didn't enjoy this record as much as I thought I would. However, with changes, trimmed down track list, Big Thief can do good next time. They can. I believe in them. I don't think this is their best record. Alright, it's a little bit overrated, but I'm feeling a decent, too strong 7 on this one. And, that's about it, guys. Mwah. See ya. Happy late Valentine's Day.